Hello, welcome to our Workforce Wednesday series. My name is Allanah Ceasar, and I'm the program director of our LifeWorks program, which is our career services department within Legacy Institute for Financial Empowerment. And I have here with me Mr. Tim Walker. He is a game warden right here in Angelina County, and
Mhm.
well, no, in the state of Texas,
Sure.
in
Mhm.
the state of Texas. And he's also a board member. So I felt like it would be a wonderful, wonderful way to start with our board and our team that works here and supports Legacy Institute, to give him an opportunity to share a little bit about his career, what it's like being a game warden, how did he introduced to the job, and what kind of things has he learned along the way? What on the job training has he participated in? But first, let me just give him a warm welcome. Thank you for coming
Yes,
and
ma'am.
joining us.
Yeah, glad to be here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, you've had experience in the workforce. You've been a game warden for a while. I've seen you. I've actually tried to get my little brother recruited by you.
And
So,
I wanted to recruit him as well.
you know what it's like for people trying to get into the career
Mhm.
and what it's like to get trained on the job. So, I wanted to just have you share just some insight about what it was like for you getting into your position as a game warden.
Yeah, so initially growing up, I wanted to be a number of things, but once I got into college, I wanted to be a wildlife biologist.
Right.
And so, but I was the kid in elementary back during the days where we would have an opportunity to go to the library and check out books. And we had the little cards in the back where you wrote your name.
Yes.
And those bird books and the fishing books and the camping books, there were times where I checked the book out and I'm the last person that actually checked the book out. And so my name is checked out on the card like back to back.
Mhm.
And, but I've always had an interest in the outdoors and nature and wildlife. And so that's kind of always been my niche and where I found just my everyday joy and peace really is just outdoors.
Okay. Now, how did you get connected into public service with that outdoors interest?
When I was in college, we had an opportunity to do, we have these career days where people from different professions come and you visit their table and you speak to them and they tell you about what they offer. And so, one recruiter for Texas Parks and Wildlife Department um, told me that we had, or that they at the time had a summer internship program,
Mhm.
and it was paid and I got college credit, 3 hours over the course of the summer, and it paid $1,200 a month for 3 months, which in 1997 was the most money I'd ever made per month. Um, so I got to do the summer internship program, and after about 3 days of working with game wardens, I thought immediately there is no way I would pass up an opportunity to do this as a career.
Mhm.
I just kind of finished getting my bachelor's degree, but I no longer had that drive to be a wildlife biologist. I was like, I want to be a game warden,
Mhm.
just because of the freedom that you had in the job. You didn't punch a time clock, and you got to deal with people.
Mhm.
Um, and it was a law enforcement job where people were recreating, so they were always in a good mood.
Yeah.
Whereas generally, law enforcement jobs, when you're dealing with people, um, it's not a happy, fun time.
Mhm.
But in my job, they're boating, fishing, hunting, camping. They are literally recreating indoor on vacation. So their spirit really is in a good place.
That's good.
Hmm.
That's good. Now, have you always wanted to work with people in a sense that way, or was that one of those things that you were surprised that you enjoyed about the job
That is a
itself?
good question. Initially, I didn't know that I would wind up working as a public servant or closely with people because really as a wildlife biologist, um, you're going to work with a team, but you're going to do a lot of work that's isolated.
Mhm.
So you're not going to have a lot of people around you, which really I do find just working alone. Um, but I have learned that I am really a people person,
Mhm.
and I like people. And I like sharing knowledge, stuff that I know. And in my line of work, since I'm on patrol protecting a resource, those people that I come in contact pursuing the resource that I protect,
Mhm.
very often I tell them where to go to be successful, whether it's catching fish or killing ducks or harvesting a deer,
Mhm.
because I want them to be successful.
That's right.
Uh,
So it's basically you don't have to go home, but you have to get up out of here.
Yeah, and there's times where I deal with so many people, let's say on a holiday weekend at the lake, that at the end of the day, um, I would like to be a recluse, kind of get away from people. But then, if it's a long holiday weekend, the next day I'm ready to go, get back after it, and just serve.
That's good.
So.
That's good. Now, coming into your career as a law enforcement officer, what were some surprises about your own work habits that you had to kind of build on and develop while you were coming into a job like that? Now, I know you went to school, so
Hmm.
there were some habits that were developed at on the
Hmm.
collegiate level. But what did you need
Hmm.
to learn and kind of develop going into your career path?
So in conservation law enforcement, specifically with Texas Parks and Wildlife Department as a game warden for our agency, you don't punch a time clock. You have 24 hours to work your 8.
Hmm.
So you work your hours according to what's going on, whether it's hunting season, in November, checking deer hunters and deer camps. The days may be long, or it may be, um, you know, April. It may be Good Friday, where
Hmm.
everybody is either tilling the garden or they've taken time out to go fishing.
Hmm.
Then those days that are tied to holidays can be long, but just your average weekend in the summer, um, my day may be cut into two parts. I may go check fishermen that morning and go relax, have lunch, go get a workout in, and then go back to the lake that evening. Or I may decide to go to the lake at 10 o'clock a.m. and then, get off the lake later that evening. So you have to be, since we don't punch a clock, you've got to be driven to put your time in when you need to put it in.
Hmm.
You have to be in tune with what time of year it is and what people are doing.
Hmm.
During the fall and winter, it's hunting season.
Hmm.
So, but it may be that depending on where you're located in Texas, if you're in the panhandle where there's no water, your busiest time is going to be during hunting season.
Hmm.
And then after hunting season is over, you don't have any lakes or rivers to get on. So at that point, you may go on a work detail and go to the coast and get on oyster or patrol with those coastal wardens and check oyster boats. Um, or in the summer, you may go to the Gulf and patrol with those wardens and go check shrimp boats. So this job is really an adventure, but you have to be driven to get out there and get after it. You've got to learn your county. And so the good part about, or the unique part about our branch of law enforcement is it's been said that we're law enforcement off the pavement.
Hmm.
So we're going to be out in the rural areas, um, and we have a bit more intimate relationship with our county because we know what the territory looks like behind locked gates because that's some of the areas we patrol.
Hmm.
And it may be a road you go through one gate off of a county road, and we may know, hey, this road comes out on a state highway or another farm to market road or a county road. Because there's been times where we've been called upon to during wildfires
Hmm.
to be spotters. And in the area, we go through one piece of property and then go check another piece of property where we've got keys to enter the properties
Hmm.
where other law enforcement does not.
Hmm.
But again, you have to have that drive to get out, learn your county, and you can't just do it from a vehicle.
Hmm.
You got to get out and walk, and you have to just kind of have that explorer's nature.
Hmm.
You want to know what's down this trail, or where does this little trail go, and you just get out and walk, and you over the and I've been here for 21 years now, and I've done lots of driving and lots of walking.
Mhm.
So I have really learned my county over the course of 20 some odd years.
Mhm.
Um, and I can tell you from experience, it's got some unique, beautiful landscapes.
Mhm.
Um, but also in learning your county, you also learn your people.
Mhm.
You know, uh, in no matter what state you're in, when it comes to being a game warden and protecting wildlife resources, you deal with an element of people that they have been taught to take advantage of, or should I say, been taught to abuse a resource,
Mhm.
taking more than what the law allows.
Right.
Um, and so you learn who those people are, who those family members are, and what their family values are.
Mhm.
And so you learn to kind of keep tabs on those folks. And then there's other people that are truly conservationists, and you never have to worry about them violating the law, certainly on purpose.
Mhm.
And they are always good contacts for game wardens as well.
Okay. So one thing that keeps coming up is learn, 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 learn. It's
Hmm.
something that you're constantly doing, even at after 20 years, you're still learning
Hmm.
new things. So what is it like? Did you know that you were going to have to do so much catch up? And you have a history of hunting and already being outdoors, so that's helpful. But
Hmm.
if there's someone that's pivoting, into the outdoor type of career, what did they just lay it out here? You need to learn this county. This is what you need to know about this county, or that was more of a discovery thing that you said, okay, this is a trick that or a tip that I've learned to operate here. This is a tip or trick that I've kind of developed into my workflow in
Yes.
this space.
And, over the course of 20 years, the job has changed a lot as far as maybe some expectations that uh, our supervisors in our division expects of us. There's been technological changes,
Mhm.
so where we since naturally I have a history of spending time in the outdoors before I got the job, so the learning curve for me has been pretty short.
Mhm.
Whereas maybe someone else may have not spent much time in the outdoors, but they have a desire to serve as a game warden. And depending on perhaps what their background is like, or their experiences when you go through the game warden academy, they're going to put you where they feel like you can be of service to the state.
Mhm.
And maybe if you have more of an urban background and you don't have a whole lot of hunting and fishing experience, um, they may put you in a urban environment to where um, you may not spend a whole lot of time in really, really wild places, um, looking for someone that's lost or having to patrol a lot of water. It may be that you're in a setting to where, because we enforce commercial activity as well.
Mhm.
So you may wind up, let's say, if you get sent to an area, let's say Dallas County. There's not a whole lot of hunting in Dallas County, but there is a lot of water safety patrol that takes place there.
Mhm.
So you'll do a lot of compliance checks as far as water safety equipment. You'll operate a boat, obviously, and you will check a lot of fishermen.
Mhm.
But also because of the makeup of Dallas County, you've got all these major cities within the county, and there's a lot of commercial fish activity as far as like retail sales and wholesale sales and things like that.
Mhm.
So you'll spend time um, checking those businesses for compliance,
Okay.
because there's a paper trail for all of our aquatic resources,
Mhm.
crawfish, shrimp. That stuff has from the time it lands on the shrimp boat.
Mhm.
There needs to be a paper trail and documentation for those for the lawful take or harvest of that aquatic product, all the way up until the time it gets sold. Um, and so another thing that I didn't know that I would eventually have to learn is to reconstruct boat crashes. And so, like your highway patrolman may reconstruct a traffic accident that was a fatality,
Mhm.
if there is a boat crash that's results in serious bodily injury or death, I'm on our boat crash reconstruction team, our
Mhm.
storm team, so you have to reconstruct that crash and determine what happened. And the interesting thing about it is that happens on the water. And so there's no skid marks.
Mm-mm.
And so you're having to come from a different direction because there's so much physics involved
Mhm.
with two floating objects that are moving. And then when they crash, drift apart and move. All the evidence floats off. Stuff sinks.
Mhm.
So it's not all visible upon dry land like you would in a motor vehicle crash.
Mhm.
Um, so that has really, really been interesting. And with the invent of or improvement in technology, you've got 3D printers. Um, we've got 3D scanners
Mhm.
that can you set up and it can just scan the whole scene,
Mhm.
and then you can print stuff, um, flip stuff, turn stuff on a screen. It is just crazy. And even with drones,
Mhm.
so we've got officers that are drone operators, and so uh, with the advancements of drones each year and their capabilities.
Mhm.
I don't operate a drone, but we've got officers that do, and so they've had to learn one drone. Well, there's an advancement, so
Mhm.
then they learn this one. Well, before, when we would have to get out on foot and look for somebody in the national forest that's lost at night in February and
Mhm.
it's cold, now you pop up a drone if you have a good search area and it's got thermal imaging. And so you can spot them way out there and walk officers right into the person.
Mhm.
And when it comes to drown victims,
Mhm.
and so, which is the roughest part of what I do anytime there has to do with a death. And you've got the family up on the boat ramp and they're waiting for us to recover their loved one. We used to have to get in a boat and we have a body drag, which was basically a metal frame with chains with really large treble hooks.
Mhm.
Put the boat in reverse and we would just
Mhm.
drag until we hook the body, um, and then make the recovery and bring them in. Now, if we've got a pretty good search area with the advancement of the 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 old school fish finders
Yes.
that turns into uh, just graphs. You literally can look at the screen and you're like, well, that's a ladder. Well, that's a tire.
Mhm.
Well, that's a box, obviously, of some sort. And so, depending on where the sun is in the sky, it'll create shadows, but still, you can look at the image and say, well, that's my drowned victim.
Mhm.
And we GPS it, get the dive team, send them down. They make the recovery many times the same day,
Mhm.
depending on when we start. But it rarely goes for more than 2 days. Um, so in our in my job, there's been much advancement in technology. It's made our job easier,
Mhm.
um, but also there's also been changes in our documentation and paperwork,
Mhm.
so that if I arrest a criminal, we go in, enter the information. Well, the local trooper arrested the same person.
Mhm.
And so his information is already in the system. So it helps the law enforcement community kind of keep up with a subject and his criminal activity. If somebody else is unfamiliar with him, and it could be up in Dallas.
Mhm.
And all of a sudden, I make contact with him or make the arrest in Angelina County and Lufkin. He's in the system already for something that happened in Dallas County.
Mhm.
So there's been so many advances over the course of 20 years.
Yes, yes.
Um,
And one thing that's important is keeping up with them. You
mhm.
know, if you don't keep up, you get left
That's
behind.
exactly right. And that's what our agency does not want to do just because of the nature of our work. Uh, I've I've always said it's a job of hurry up and wait because
Yes.
nothing when it comes to my job happens real fast, especially if you're trying to catch somebody.
Mhm.
They may not kill something today.
Mhm.
So you're on the same person. You're trying to get them caught. And you may not catch them this year. It may be 2 years before you catch them, or somebody that's got an illegal net in the river and you're sitting on it today. Well, the water's so cold when the fish swim into it, they're not going to die because the water's cold. It may be 10 days before they decide to come back and check it. So
Mhm.
you're sitting on this net for 10 days till they show up.
Mhm.
But when you catch them, uh, it goes back to that drive.
Mhm.
You got to be driven to catch people because sometimes it takes lots of man hours,
Mhm.
but when you get them caught, it's
It's what
it's like winning the Super Bowl, depending on who you caught.
it's awesome. I'm sure they don't believe it's awesome, but I'm sure it is for you.
Yeah.
Yes. So we appreciate your time, Miss
Hmm.
Walker. Is there anything you want to share? Anything else you want to share? Any details about what's coming up for your office or for your team? Any recruiting details you'd like to share?
Yes, we are currently uh, our internship application period is actually open now. If it's not open now, it will be before the end of the month. For our summer intern program, I'm not sure how many uh, people they're going to hire, but it's paid. Pretty awesome experience. Um, Also, in that summer internship program, that's basically your job interview. So just take that into consideration. You want to be a good intern. We have a career development program, which you have to do some paperwork, but that allows you to do ride alongs with game wardens, and you get at least 20 hours of ride along time with officers wherever you choose to go. I always encourage people to, if you're going to ride with a warden in East Texas, try to get with somebody on the coast, just so that you get all that experience and you have a much better understanding of what we do. Um, and I'm I like to say I'm a career game warden just because this is my niche, but we've also got game wardens that um, have taken other federal jobs after getting hired on with us. I remember one guy, he went on to be Secret Service, which that's more of his niche.
Hmm.
Um, uh, yes, he was a game warden for a period of time, but some people may their interests may suit them better another law enforcement capacity.
Hmm.
So protecting dignitaries and the president and all that's more his niche. So uh, we've got another individual that went over to the FBI. One of my other coworkers is now with U.S. Fish and Wildlife as their law enforcement officer. So he's a federal officer now instead of a state officer. So there's other advancements and opportunities that you can do. And even within our ranks, you can promote, be a lieutenant, run the division as a colonel. And there's other sergeants, other positions in between, captains, majors. But after you leave the field, the fun is over. So at this point, you're in meetings on the computer all the time.
Hmm.
So you don't get to play. Um, but it is really a lot of fun, a lot of cool experiences, and really, if you like the outdoors, um, to say it's an adventure is really an understatement. You get to do all kinds of stuff. meet all kinds of people, and you get to serve the community that you're in too. So, um, I didn't mention this, but I don't know how many vehicle crashes.
Mhm.
I've been the first officer to arrive on scene
Okay.
and arrive on scene before it comes out over the radio. All of a sudden, just drive up on it.
Mhm.
The crash on 69 between the two, it was a SUV, van, Pineywood sanitation, garbage truck,
Mhm.
and a truck hauling chips from the mill,
Mhm.
all involved in the same crash. And
Okay.
I just drove. I was actually on the phone,
Mhm.
drove up on it, and um, you know, had to tend to the crash, communicate with the county,
Mhm.
tell them who all was involved, any injuries, all those kind of things.
Mhm.
Um, but it just it's what happens when you're out on patrol. You just
Absolutely.
and you just handle whatever it is that's before you. So,
I'm glad they had you there, somebody that'll respond quickly, even without a phone call
oh yeah,
coming in.
oh
Now,
yeah.
this is my final question to you, and then we'll sign off.
Okay.
I've taken a lot of your time, and I appreciate it.
Oh yes, ma'am.
CPR, first aid, all these things you've learned and picked
Mhm.
up over time.
Mhm.
So if anyone, if you're not sure whether or not you want to be a game warden, the least we can do is get some CPR, first aid training, and then kind of start that journey there.
Mhm.
Internship is great. When I hear internship, I think unpaid. So I'm excited to hear about a paid internship where you get to get a real world experience working with these departments. And hopefully, there will be an opportunity waiting on you on the back end. But thank you so much for joining us for our Workforce Wednesday series. Thank you again, Mr. Walker.
You're welcome.
One, for being a great board member. You've been with us for a long time. And but also taking the time out of your day to come visit with us. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes.